Welcome to the Rescue Authentic Networking, our video cast. I am Nicole Williams, along with my co-hosts, Don Evans Casey and Jennifer Johnson. Jennifer, how are you today?
Well, I'm doing great. I don't know, they don't even know because the shows just keep going on, but it's been a few weeks since we did a show, so I'm excited to be back on. And today we actually are very honored to have our guest with us. It is Diana Cudmore, and she is with Flick, which I just think the name Flick is like, how cute that is. But what's that? It's a acronym. Is that the word? My gosh, I'm thinking again. Okay, acronym. And Diana is going to tell us what Flick is, who she is, what Flick is, and then I guess, what the state of the COVID world has done for Flick and for you, and we'll just take it from there. But we're so happy to have you. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. So FLIC stands for the Financial Literacy and Intelligence Center of Knowledge. I had to think about that. It's a lot of words, but I really like the acronym and it's a lot easier to say. So we go with the acronym. We are a 501c3 nonprofit. We got our official designation in the end of November. So what we do is we offer free financial education to anybody in the state of Indiana. We don't have any income limits. We don't have any specific target demographic, and we don't sell anything or make commissions on anything. So we really exist to help people figure out their finances. We help people figure out their credit scores, how credit reporting works. We help them figure out how to save, how to budget, how to plan for their future. And a lot of the folks that we help are in lower income or are in financial need. So we really trying to help them work out what they should do with the money they have. As for how COVID has affected us, we got started when COVID was still happening.
Yeah.
So, this is the world that we know. Unfortunately, on the nonprofit, well, I shouldn't say unfortunately, on the nonprofit side of things, when it comes to funding, a lot of big funders have pivoted to direct COVID relief, which means they're putting money into food pantries and healthcare, which is awesome and super needed and not unfortunate. It's necessary. But for us, we don't fall into that category. So a lot of the traditional funding sources that would have been available before COVID are no longer available to us. So we're having to be agile. We're looking towards our local townships and counties. We're looking towards other nonprofits who can bring us in as a part of their program. And of course, we're always looking for individual donors who support our cause.
Awesome. So I kind of forgot that part though. Nicole, didn't you have a meeting with Diana recently? And maybe,
Yes.
do you want me to share that part?
Okay. Yeah, I would love to, because I'd love to give her a shout out, because she is so kind and she's patient. And it was really interesting because I had an idea of what to expect. I knew we'd be talking about my finances, but it was really neat because we took a stroll down history of my life and my spending habits. And so, like before my divorce, during and after, and she presented me with some ideas that I didn't even know existed, so I'm really thankful for her. So it was really nice. It was probably about an hour and a half on the phone, and so now I have like this little portfolio. We went over like like some good apps to use to help manage your finances and monitor your credit report, and some things to look for on the credit report, and easy actions if something doesn't look right. But I really appreciated her doing that. So thank you. I highly
Cool.
recommend it.
Yeah, cool. Good for you. And you also, didn't she help you with some other stuff maybe?
Yes. One thing that's really cool about which I may not have known if I had just booked, the program appointment with her, but in our networking group. So Diana is in another networking group than I am. And one thing that we encourage is to do one-on-ones and kind of just find out what we can do to help each other. And she had told me about a blog that she had for 2 years in motherhood and lifestyle. And I was like, oh my gosh, my heart's like racing. And because I'm a blogger, it's always nice to meet a fellow blogger. And I was actually having a lot of trouble with my website because it was literally a year in the making, built from scratch, where you start with your WordPress site and all these plugins and widgets and themes. It was a lot. And so she had talked to me about that. And then and I was telling her, and she was like, well, I also have she's also a marketing agent for her business, DC Business Solutions. So over a couple of days, she helped me fix some things on my site that I had spent a lot of time on Google, and I just, so I thank her for that. So her expertise in that was really great.
That's cool.
It was
So
a lot of fun.
we'll hear a little bit more, hopefully, about DC Business Solutions as we go along, or business solution.
You're right.
But it's a marketing, but it works. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, Nicole, go ahead. I kind of led you down the side.
Hey,
Right there.
okay. Well, our next thing we're wondering about is, so our show is all about being authentic, and we wonder what this means to you in your business.
I love the idea of authenticity. I think that it's like so multifaceted, right? Because as we're growing our businesses and as we're learning new things, it can feel hard to be really authentic, because you can think like, well, I don't really, I'm maybe I want to be like a nonprofit superstar, and I have a nonprofit, but I might not be a superstar yet. But I would say the balance between being authentic is just kind of opening yourself up about like, yes, might be new to the nonprofit world, but I've, learned a lot. And, like when I had our appointment with Nicole, I was telling her about like my real life finances. That's how I've learned a lot of the financial education that I share with people through Flick. I mean, the reason I'm so passionate about Flick is because like I was there. I was in a difficult financial, spot. We made my husband and I made all the mistakes that you could possibly make. And, I learned how not to do it by doing it myself. So I'm very open with that. About that to my clients. And yeah, that's my answer.
Awesome. Thank you.
Good answer.
All right. Well, I think it's my opportunity to talk with you, Diana, and I want to say thank you for being here with us today. I've just been sitting here listening to your background, thinking of all of these synergies that you and I share. This interest in financial literacy and the blogging, which is something that I look forward to doing myself, and starting a nonprofit. So I'm looking forward to just hearing more and more. But my first question for you, with all of those opportunities for connection and helping others, how do you generally come across your potential clients and customers and financial literacy contacts? What are the various ways that you get in touch with people in order to help them?
Well, networking groups like TTR are so powerful, obviously. And just having that network of connections when, if somebody comes across somebody who's looking for a financial counselor or, needs help getting their budget together, they can say, oh yeah, I know her through TTR. Other than that, I'm also in a networking group specifically for nonprofits and for executive directors. So that's been really helpful, not just for finding new business, but also for just navigating the nonprofit world. There's always something new to learn, for sure.
Yes.
And and then also between, in having those connections, trying to make a good impression on the people that I meet so that they can remember me and remember to, call me if they think of something. I reached out to a somebody who's involved in local government in another county to ask for a referral for one of my clients. And he actually called me back a couple of days later with more information because he remembered me. He remembered my client. He said, this would actually be a perfect solution for her. And I was like, oh, thanks so much. And you remember my name too. And you pronounced it right. Yeah.
That's cool.
Super awesome.
Thanks. Dawn, it's kind of funny that you said that, not funny in a way, but it was like I was sitting here thinking, oh, definitely. This is something that Dawn would get into because I know the financial background, because you do that, don't you? Do some financial education stuff?
I do volunteer work with the Central Indiana Academy of Finance for more than 10 years. Yeah.
So I wonder if you've got some context there that could be valuable for Flick, or vice versa. I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying, I know when you and I first met that was something we talked, you shared, and I think you were doing it then. And then obviously the 501c3, the nonprofit stuff, I was like, and the fact that Nicole, Diana, somehow you and Dawn haven't met until today, I think that's really cool. I mean,
we will be making 101 for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So I kind of see why Diana's fit really well into our network. That's actually one of the next questions, though, Diana, is I kind of remember, and it's not been that long ago, but I did have COVID over Christmas, and I've got that brain fog going on. I don't even know if it's COVID brain fog. I'm just kidding. It's just brain.
Blame it on the COVID.
That's it, right. But my question, though, is how did you find the TTR network? And we know that you're in, Nicole kind of shared, but you're in one of the groups. And I guess, do you have any stories and maybe that's a story in itself. So just kind of leave it to you. But, and one of the things it sounded like at the beginning, I almost kind of was like, yep, I'll pay you later. Cause you mentioned the TTR stuff, but the, do you have a story about networking that's worked well, which I think you've already shared one, but take it away. I'll just leave you.
Sure. So I found the TTR because when I first started Flick, I don't think we had even gotten our 501c3 yet, but I was trying to think of who I knew that could A, help us get funding, and B, help us get our name out there. So I actually bought a house during COVID last July, and my realtor and my mortgage lender are both members of TTR. So I called them because I figured, financial education is important. Realtors and mortgage lenders would probably be interested in that. And both Melanie Baylog and Gary Tedrow gave me your name, Jennifer. So I reached out to you, and Antoine, my co-founder, and I, had a Zoom with you. And so we were totally sold in the fact that, TTR is important for networking, and that it would be, a huge part of our strategy for getting our name out there.
Cool.
As for a story about how TTR has been, helpful to us, Jennifer, you gave me the name of Angie McHale.
Yeah.
And she runs is it the Fishers of the Hamilton County Exchange Club? I think it's Hamilton County.
One of those, yeah. I don't.
One of those. I'm so sorry.
No,
I don't remember. But anyway, we got together, and she actually had me come and present to them, which was super fun. They're a really nice bunch of people who really care deeply for nonprofits and for the same people that we do. And I got some more contact information through there. I got some business cards of people that I still have to reach out to. But yeah, that was really
we have a
helpful.
Program for that. I'm just kidding.
And then also on the DC Business Solutions side, I have met so many awesome people who do sort of adjacent work to what I do.
Yeah.
You know, copywriters and ad specialists and bloggers like Nicole. So that's been really helpful, especially just formed a partnership this week with another member of the Northside Networking Group
Good.
who is a specialist in paid advertising. And I'm not, I'm an organic growth kind of person because, you know, working with a low budget, starting your own blog, that's what I have most experience in. But with paid ads, it's great to have a partner through TTR.
That's awesome. And you know what? If it hadn't even been a TTR story, that would have been fine too. But thank you. And,
but it is because TTR is awesome.
There you go. Well,
Aw, awesome.
that's a mic drop right there. I don't know what mic drop, that would qualify as my
You
mic
did
drop.
it right. You were
Okay,
right.
Good.
Yes.
Good. Well, I think Dawn, she did all that, so it's your turn.
Wow. Well, all that she shared already, I don't know if there's more, but the one of the tenets of TTR networking is all about a strong focus on helping nonprofits and community groups, in addition to growing, sustaining, helping our own businesses thrive. We want to help others do the same, especially those who are in need. So you've talked about Flick and what amazing things it's doing for folks in need who, especially through the economic downturn and COVID struggle, have found themselves, challenged financially. And you've also talked a little bit, you just mentioned the Exchange Club that you interacted with. I'm wondering, are there any other nonprofits or causes that you actively, support or participate with that you could share with us, or talk about, what nonprofits your networking groups have engaged with, and any projects that have helped?
Sure. So, I mean, there are so many awesome nonprofits in Hamilton County where I am, and throughout Indiana. One of the biggest here in Hamilton County is Good Samaritan. They have a network of, well, I don't know if this is general knowledge, but they actually work really hard to join together the nonprofits in Hamilton County. That's part of how they work.
Yeah.
So that's been an amazing resource for me and to refer my clients to.
Good.
Another one is Hand of Hamilton County. They offer low cost housing and help people get the housing resources that they need. And then, gosh, there are so many. Grace Church has an amazing wraparound food pantry, and they give, I don't know if they're actively doing it during COVID, but hopefully soon they will be restarting the wraparound services like, financial, social work, that kind of thing.
Okay.
And then Aspire of Indiana, I have noticed there's a lot of help for folks who need, I should say, primary health care, but Aspire is working really hard to make sure that mental health care is accessible to folks with low income, or who otherwise wouldn't be able to achieve that because they're uninsured or something like that.
Oh, yeah. That's a very important and very needed one.
Absolutely.
So I'm really glad that you mentioned that. Thanks for sharing. Thank you.
Yeah, the other part of that is Dawn doesn't usually say, or she probably wouldn't, but one of the events, Diana, that Dawn does for TTR is the TTR Cares, which she always brings us back by the end of the conversation, which she has different themes and it's wonderful. But she always brings us back to talking about nonprofits. And when we talked about the program, or the idea of having this monthly, it's a monthly discussion, she talked about nonprofits being like the end of it. We would wrap up with talking about, deserving. I thought, and I've said this before, I thought she was going to do stuff we already knew. And she was like, all these nonprofits that we have no idea. And I thought, that was just so cool. And so some of these I'm familiar with, but I don't know that we've talked about them on here, but Good Samaritan in Hand and, Aspire I've heard of. And I just realized something, and we'll talk about it briefly after this, because I think we should do something that is a fundraising thing for Flick, because I don't think we've even, so I know you guys are kind of new, and as you're getting, you know what I mean, but there might be a way to partner up with some of our members and stuff. I don't know. I just was like, wow, why haven't we done that? So, but I think it's because you were so new when you started. So I don't think it was like we haven't tried to do that. Nicole, it's your turn. Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, well, I've got a really important question. I'm sure our audience members, just our audience, we don't have members, are wondering, how can I get a hold of this wonderful Diana Cudmore?
Yeah.
Well,
How do we find you?
there are lots of ways. First, you can check out everything that we do and even more about us at flickcorp.com. That's FLICKCORP.org. If you want to talk to me, I'm on the other end of hello at flickcorp. Oh, did I say .com? Oh my gosh.
I was wondering, I was going to ask you, is that a .org or .com?
.org.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Okay. So it's hello at flickcorp.org.
.org.
.org.
Anyway,
ORG.
Okay.
ORG. And then they can also call us 855-566-3136. And then that's it. Yeah. You can find us on Facebook. We're not active on other platforms yet, but we shall be.
That's awesome. And also one more place, TTRnetworking.com. Under the Northside group.
We kind of forget that sometimes.
That's right. And on Open in Indiana, if I ever get that set up.
Yeah, yes, you will today. And you will thank me later. As soon as you can, we hang up, just go right over there.
Right over.
She doesn't have
help, just ask Dawn.
But we do have a partnership with Open in Indiana, so that's kind of cool. And I'm getting excited about the potential of where that can go. Definitely. Dawn, I don't know, this is the first time you've met Diana, and Nicole and I've asked her a lot of other questions. Do you have anything? I mean, I'm going to ask her to give us a final thought, but did you have anything else, Dawn? I just kind of sprung it on you. Did you have
no, not a problem. I'm definitely want to touch base for us to connect and do a one-on-one very soon. There's just so much promising opportunity, I think, in you and I having a more thorough discussion about a lot of our synergies. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too, as I'm realizing as we're talking, I'm like, yeah, Dawn hasn't met Diana, or Diana hasn't met Dawn. Yay! Okay, cool. So having said all that, Diana, we could probably keep talking and talking and talking. But, what would you like to leave as the final thought? You have a couple words of wisdom. Obviously, you've lived a lot of life. You're a young lady, I know, but what kind of thoughts? It could be business. It could just be, just whatever you want. Take it away.
I would say my final thought is to use your skills for good every day.
Oh, yeah.
Through all of my trials and tribulations with our finances, that's turned around and become a nonprofit. Through my work with the blog and marketing and learning that I love marketing so much that I decided to go get my degree for it and start a business for it. That, I'm trying to use that for good. I'm using that for Flick. I'm offering that at a very reduced price to other nonprofits. So yeah, I think all of us have skills that we may not be, it might not even come into our heads to use them for good. That like, oh, that's business. That's my business skill. But yeah, that's my final thought.
I love it. Love it.
Good stuff.
Love it. Okay.
Awesome. Anybody else? Any other finals? No, not. Well, I want to thank you so much, Diana, for sharing your time and your grace with us and telling us all about you. And
Thanks.
you're welcome. I want to thank our audience for tuning in and watching us. And I, one thing, Jennifer, do we mention about the TTR networking if they're interested in coming visit a group?
They could always check us out. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah, free visit, check out the groups, 1 of 14, different times, different places. And mostly we're on virtual right now, Zoom.
Yeah.
And otherwise, may all your days be filled with authenticity. Thank you guys so much.
Oh, all
Bye,
right.
guys.
Take care, everybody.
TTRnetworking.com.
See you next time.
TTRnetworking.com. There you go. Have a good day, everybody.